Welcome. You are listening to Jobs in Pods, where real employers advertise their jobs and tell you how to get them. Today, the founder and CEO of Sparc, which is SPARC, Maury Hanigan, is going to tell you about an exciting opportunity to join her executive team in New York City as VP of Sales. Sparc is the new recruiting platform that changes how employers market their positions and engage passive candidates. Sparc was named HR Tech Product of the Year for 2014, the Mobile Recruitment Award in 2015, and the TekTonic Award for 2016. Welcome to Jobs and Pods. I'm your host, Peter Clayton. Maury, welcome to the Jobcast.
Thanks, Peter.
Okay, so give us a brief background on Sparc.
Sparc is now a 4-year-old company. We've been launched for 2.5 years, and we are really shaking up the recruiting market. The fact that people are still advertising their jobs on job boards and using text-only job descriptions, all of which were designed for the 1990s, is amazing to us. We're all walking around with smartphones. We all have the ability to use this technology to make jobs engaging, to make them informative. So we took technology that exists and put it together so it's easy for companies to use and create job postings that are really interesting and engaging for candidates. And we've gotten some great traction. You very nicely rattled off the awards we've won. We've got a very nice piece of software to do all this. But we've also landed major clients, Fortune 500 clients that are using this, so we're being used on 3 continents right now.
All right, so who are some of your clients?
There are folks you may have heard of: Facebook, Amazon, Fidelity, Ernst & Young, Comcast, Frontier. Any of those ring a bell?
Oh, yeah. And like you said, Maury, the post and pray era of the static text only job boards is really not going to attract the millennials and the passive job seekers out there.
Particularly now we're in a time of full employment. So you've got 5.8 million jobs available out there. And the idea that people who are employed and maybe open to a new opportunity, but basically, are in a job and doing well, the idea that they're out trolling on your career site or trolling job boards just isn't realistic. They're not doing that. So you've got to find a way to get your job in front of them. You've got to get on their radar screen. And to do that, you need to get off a job board, because it doesn't work with the way people are consuming information today. They're doing it on their mobile phones. They're using all kinds of social media and video, and putting up paragraphs of text just isn't effective.
I couldn't agree with you more. Okay, so Maury, you need to fill a critical role here, the VP of Sales. What are the specific background and qualifications you're looking for?
They're simple, but it's a pretty high bar. First and foremost, I want somebody who loves sales, who gets out of the bed in the morning and just can't wait to go close a sale. Someone who really is a student of sales, who understands that helping a client go through the thought process of what is this product, how does it help them, does this make sense for them? Someone who really is committed to that and wants to get better at that all the time. So the first piece is someone who's really a professional salesperson. And the second piece is someone who really is passionate about recruiting and really cares about it, quite honestly. The product we have created really does a much better job at helping candidates understand what the job is, whether it's right for them or not. And that matters to people. You're talking about their employment. You're talking about the satisfaction they get out of work. Having a good job match matters for both the candidate and the company. So someone who's going to fit here and work here has to really care about that. They have to understand that this is a product that matters. It matters to companies and how they build their employee base. It matters to individuals. And this is really an incredible thing we've created. So this is not just another shopping platform or a nice to have versus something that really does make a difference. So there's that combination of passion for the product and what we're doing, and then just the commitment to the profession of sales.
And of course, they need to be within commuting distance of Manhattan.
this is a job that can't happen remotely. Our clients are all over the country, but this person is really going to be a critical member of the management team here. This is someone who would start off actually doing sales for probably 6 months and talking to clients and understanding what their concerns are, what it is they like about the product, how you roll it out, and so forth. But then start building a sales force under them. But more important than that, they're really going to be part of the strategy team here because our product, we've been launched for 2.5 years. The product exists, but we're always, adding features and refining it. And I really want a salesperson who will, sit down and say, gee, if we had this capability, if we had this feature, I could have made that sale. And it's like, okay, now we have a priority for product development. So the person is really going to be very integral to if we have questions about, new features, how do we price it? They're not only going to be part of those conversations, they may actually drive a lot of those conversations. And I don't think you really can be integral to the whole strategy and management and direction of the company when you're working remotely. You can't call in for an hour in every week and have the really substantive conversation. Some of it is just overhearing, the customer success people here talking to clients. What is it they had a question about? What is it they need to do? You really need to be immersed in this if you're really going to help drive the direction and strategy of the firm. So this is not a remote position. It's somebody who's going to be here day in and day out and really be as much management as they are sales.
Okay, so what are your goals and what kind of growth are you projecting for 2017?
It scares the living daylights out of us. I'll be perfectly honest about that. And not because we think it's overly ambitious, but the ability to scale and match it. We've got a lot of clients who this year have been through pilots that have tested the product and had really strong results. And so we're looking at rollouts with those clients, or we're looking for clients who use the product in one division or for one function and now are looking to expand it. And keeping the kind of, quality in terms of working with clients, being there, available to it, being able to scale that is a little frightening. In a good way, frightening, but something that, and just, we just came off, we presented at the Talent Tech, the TA Tech conference just a couple of weeks ago, and have a lot of interest from people, being able to keep up with it, being able to give the kind of personal attention. So we are privately held, so we don't disclose numbers, but the growth is aggressive. Let's put it that way.
Great. All right. So, what are the benefits Spark offers, and is there an opportunity for an equity share for the VP of Sales?
Yes, there is absolutely an opportunity for equity. There is not equity up front because uh, having equity, we're assuming that you're going to be here for the long haul. But there is, again, this VP sales is someone who's going to be a critical part of the management team. So the assumption is that they would become an equity owner as well. For someone to walk in, we want to see that they're really going to contribute here, that they're going to be part of the team. So it's not something that's being offered up front, but it is something that is absolutely earned over time.
Is there anything we haven't discussed that you think is important for a potential candidate to know about your firm and this opportunity?
Yes, the other thing is, and I hesitate to call it a requirement. Someone would have to dazzle me if they didn't have this, though, which is a knowledge of recruiting and talent acquisition. We're selling to a sophisticated audience here. We're selling to the heads of talent acquisition at major organizations. These people are professionals in this. The old days of HR where you kind of just dumped anybody who didn't make it on the line is long gone. In the kind of sophisticated companies that we're selling to, we have people who are real HR pros. They know their business. They know the market. They know the candidate market. They have a very high bar of who they consider to be credible, who they're willing to accept as real partners and consultative kinds of partners to say, look, this is the tool and here's how it fits in. I'm not saying that someone couldn't learn that, but what I really want in this position is somebody who understands the industry, who can speak credibly to a sophisticated buyer. And the kinds of folks that are buying our product are obviously the ones that are pushing the envelope, that understand their tools don't work, that really want to be leading edge. So this isn't, kind of the mom and pop HR department that we're talking to. These are the folks that are really out there and innovative, and you better be running at a pretty good clip to keep up with them. So it would be a tough position to learn the industry at the same time you're trying to sell to this kind of sophisticated buyer. So knowing recruiting, knowing being conversant in it, that's going to be very important. And someone potentially could convince me that they could learn it fast enough, but that's going to be a pretty high bar to overcome if you don't already have that in your background.
Well, that's great information for those listening to this jobcast. So, how should interested candidates connect with you and submit their resumes?
The best thing, of course, is to look at the Spark. Because there is, of course, a Spark for this. And right from the Spark, you can apply to the job. But if there are questions, people can send an email to me personally. I'm Maury, Maury, at SparkStart, SparkStart.com, or go to sparkstart.com/job/Spark, and you will see the job pop up there.
Excellent. That will do it for this edition of Jobs and Pods, where real employers advertise their jobs and tell you how to get them. I'd like to thank Maury Hanigan, the CEO of Sparc, for joining me today. And remember, you can find Jobs and Pods on SoundCloud, iTunes, Google Play, and even YouTube. And to stay current with all the awesome employers, jobs, and recruiters featured in our Jobcast, join the conversation at facebook.com/realjobcasts and follow Jobs and Pods on Twitter. Thanks for listening.